All right, everybody, welcome to A to Z Sports. If you're new with us, welcome to the channel. My name is Steve, and we are here to break down the college football playoff rankings, the initial college football playoff rankings, based on the committee's judgment. Yeah, right. I'm skeptical at best. Now, of course, this is the initial. We won't know until, what is it, December the 7th? Yeah, which we're still a ways off right now. But as of November the 4th, this is what they say, based on the top 25 right now, which we'll look at that here in a minute. As of right now, yeah, I'm skeptical at best because there would be some blowout games right here. I mean, let's just face facts, right? Because some of these teams are not ready to play one another. Okay, you'd have a couple of good games right here, some really good games. All right, so as of right now, according to their judgment, you would have number 1 Ohio State at number 4 Alabama. Well, that would be a good game, right? You'd have a defensive battle right there. Pretty good offensive battle, too. That would be a hard-fought ball game, okay? And then you'd have Texas Tech and Oregon. I think Texas Tech would pull that one off, personally. But that would be a pretty good ball game as well. Ohio State, Alabama, I don't know who would win that one. I think Alabama could pull that one off, but that would be a really good ball game. Then you would have Memphis and Georgia. Really, I think the way Memphis is playing, that would be a pretty good ball game, actually. I think Georgia would probably win it, but that would be a pretty good ball game, actually. Then you would have A&M and Indiana. Texas A&M and Indiana. Well, the way Indiana's played, I would have to put the edge on Indiana in that one, to be honest with you. I think Indiana beat A&M by 14 probably. Notre Dame, BYU, I would have to probably go BYU by 14. And then Virginia at Ole Miss. I'd have to go Ole Miss by 21. I think Ole Miss would blow them out by 21 at least. Virginia is not ready for Ole Miss. You know what I mean? But that's not the way this would go. This is not going to be the bracket come December. We all know that. That's not going to happen. You know what I mean? Yes, Ohio State is going to be in this thing. I think Indiana is going to be in this thing. I think Bama is going to be in this thing. Georgia is going to be in this thing more than likely. Unless they lose again. If Georgia loses again, they could be out of this thing. The rest of them I'm not sure about. Ole Miss could be in this thing if they don't lose. The rest of them I'm not sure about right now. We'll have to wait and see on the rest of them. But let's see where they stand right now. Okay, here's the top rankings right now, and then we'll look at it Okay, so you got Ohio State at 8-0 right now, Indiana at 9-0. So really, if you look at where they stand right now, Indiana should actually be number one as far as wins losses go, right? They should be ahead of Ohio State actually. But strength of schedule, all that kind of stuff, you know what I mean? But anyway, 1 and 2, Ohio State, Indiana. Then you got A&M at 8-0, Alabama at 7-1, and Georgia at 7-1. All right, number 6, you got Ole Miss. 7, you got BYU. 8, Texas Tech, 8-1. 9, Oregon, 7-1. 10, Notre Dame, 6-2. And at 11, you got Texas at 7-2. 12, you got Oklahoma at 7-2. 13, Utah at 7-2. 14, Virginia at 8-1. Right, they'd be the seed in as the 4th highest ranked conference champion. Excuse me. And then you got Louisville at 7-1 at 15, right? And then you got at 16, you got Vandy at 7-2. And you got Georgia Tech at 8-1 at 17. You got Miami at 18 at 6-2. And USC at 6-2 at 19. And then 20, you got Iowa at 6-2. 21, Michigan at 7-2. 22, Mizzou at 6-2. 23, Washington at 6-2. 24, Pitt at 7-2, and 25, 7-2, or Tennessee at 6-3. So, you got some big teams in that top 25 right there. So, and Tennessee is definitely still in this thing. If Pitt loses out, right, any of the 6-2 teams lose out, right, they fall. Iowa, Michigan, Mizzou, Washington, Miami, Notre Dame. You know, any of them lose, they fall out. Tennessee loses, they're out. So they've got to win out. Any of the 6-2 teams have got to win out. Right? The 7-2 teams really need to win out too. Okay, the 7-1 teams, they can lose a game. The 8-0, 9-0 teams, they can lose a game and not be worried too much. Now, let's see what the games are. Right? Because we know where the brackets are. We know where the games are. Let's see what we've got in game-wise. Okay, so you got Friday, you've got Tulane at Memphis. Okay, Tulane's a good ball club, but the way Memphis has played this year, I don't think they can beat Memphis, so Memphis should handle that pretty easily. You got USC Northwestern at USC. USC should handle that. Northwestern has not played well this year. All right, and then you got BYU, Texas Tech. See, now that'll be a good ball game. That'll be a really good ball game. We're not having a game of the week this week because we were looking at the playoff picture to see what they were going to say this week. Anyway, that BYU Texas Tech game, that should be a really good ball. That could actually be game of the week if that plays like it should. All right, and then you got Indiana, Penn State. Well, we all know what Penn State's fallen to this year, so Indiana should handle that pretty easily. You got Georgia, Mississippi State. If Mississippi State plays up to par, that could be a ball game because that could hand Georgia a loss. Now, whether they do or not is another story. But Georgia's been in some close ones this year, so, Georgia's been in some games that shouldn't have been close, but they have been. Ohio State, Purdue. Ohio State should handle that pretty easily. The Citadel at Ole Miss should handle that fairly easily. But there again, anything can happen any given Saturday. But yeah, Ole Miss should handle that fairly handily. Here you got another great one. This should be a really good game. Texas A&M, Mizzou. Mizzou could hand A&M a loss there. Very easily could hand A&M a loss there. Oregon, Iowa. Iowa's no pushover. They could easily hand Oregon a loss there. So that's one to watch. Oregon should handle that, but Iowa could easily handle him a loss there. Syracuse, Miami. Syracuse has not played well at all. So Miami should handle that. Auburn, Vanderbilt. Well, Auburn just lost their coach, so I saw they fired Hugh Freeze, so Vanderbilt should handle that. Washington, Wisconsin. I don't know what happened to Wisconsin. So Washington should handle that. Wake Forest, Virginia. Virginia should handle that. Cal, Louisville. That could be a game. Cal's no pushover. LSU, Bama. Well, we all know what's going on with LSU, so Bama should handle that pretty easily. LSU's looking for a coach, too. Navy, Notre Dame. Navy. Why Navy is not ranked, I don't know, but that could be a ball game, too. Notre Dame should win that, but that could be a ball game. Yeah, Bama should have no problem with LSU at all. Yeah, so that's your schedule for this week. So we'll have to wait and see what happens with that. Should be a fun week. But I would say your games this week are going to be that A&M Mizzou. That Navy Notre Dame game could be fun. That Cal Louisville game could be a lot of fun. Georgia Mississippi State, that could be a game. And BYU Texas Tech. That could be a fun one too. So yeah, those will be fun to watch, but I don't see that. There's no way that playoff schedule holds up. There's no way that holds up. Not with the games that are upcoming. I kind of took a sneak peek at the schedule coming up, and there's no way that holds up. So, yeah, we'll get to that later, though. Listen, y'all have a fun weekend of football. Let me know if there's anything comes up. Game of the week next week. Let me know what y'all think after this weekend's games. And we'll get to it, all right? And we'll keep an eye on that, how this shakes out, too. But, yeah. There's no way that's going to hold up as far as a playoff goes. But we'll keep an eye on it, and we'll keep an eye on the playoffs as they roll through, too. All right? I'll see y'all later. Be sure to subscribe if you enjoy the content. We're going to have a lot of fun. We got some highlights coming up, too. We're going to have a good time, y'all. Thanks for watching. I'll see y'all later. We are out.